Let me thank the organizers of this program at Sri Shivaji College, Pardhani for inviting me for this program, especially respected and dear Shardat Bere sir. And I am happy to be a part of this program conducted by this prestigious institute. So let me come to the topic. So you can see that the title of the topic is Typesetting LaTeX or LaTeX documents. So there are two words in it. The first one is typesetting and the second one is LaTeX. So let me introduce you with some few words and a few slides what is LaTeX. And after some 3 or 4 slides, I will be directly going to a demonstration on this topic, that is how to deal with this LaTeX. So in order to show the first topic, let me share my screen. So here I am sharing my screen, just a second. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. So first I told you that I will be mentioning or explaining the word LaTeX. So here LaTeX is a typesetting program and not a word processing program. So the first question is, what is the difference between typesetting and word processing? So I will be coming to that. Now, if you haven't heard about this program, the reason behind it is that LaTeX is a free software. So that I have given as the second line. So since LaTeX is free, I think that is the main reason that most of you are not familiar with this topic or this software. So the LaTeX is a software, and LaTeX is good to use when you want to write scientific documents. So I think this annotation can be removed, maybe from my side. Yes. Okay. So I have muted the annotation for others. I think I can now proceed. Yes. Now, one more sentence is that LaTeX is a programming language. And if you are not familiar with any of the programming language, don't worry, because just to understand the topic, just to go through the topic, I just be mentioning some of the properties of that. And let me come to the outline of my presentation here. See here, I will be, after some introductory slides, I will be directly going to the software, and I will be using some of the commands. So why there is a command? Because it is a programming language. So some of the commands to introduce the first or to run the first program in LaTeX. And then we will be directly going to mathematical expressions. So how to write mathematical expressions using LaTeX, then tables, pictures, references, or whatever be in a document. So you are all going to learn LaTeX to make a document, and not only making a document, not only just typing a document, you are going to learn about typesetting a document. So what is a typesetting? So typesetting of a document is just the final stage just before the publication of the document. So when you are typing a document, you can use your Microsoft Word, you can use your PageMaker or LaTeX or whatever be the softwares that you have. But when it comes to typesetting, the typesetting is a word that is used to represent the stage of the document just before the publication of the document. So there comes a lot of problems when typesetting. When you are going through the typesetting of the document, there comes a lot of problems. So in order to solve that problems, you can see that the LaTeX is going to be very much useful as compared to the other softwares that I have mentioned. So here I am going to compare LaTeX with the WYSIWYG programs. So you are all familiar with the WYSIWYG program. I already told you are all familiar. So what is that? This means that this is what you see is what you get programs. What you see is what you get. Because when you are typing in your Word document, whatever you are going to type, you can take a printout of that. But LaTeX is not a software which is WYSIWYG. So that is the main difference. So that what is the meaning of that? You are typing somewhere and you are processing it and getting your document. So that is the difference. Then you can see that a lot of tick marks on the left hand side, that is the column corresponding to LaTeX. That is, you can write mathematics very easily as compared to the other softwares. You can make cross references. If you are not familiar with the word, you will be learning it in just some 10 minutes, and it will be useful when dealing with the bibliography. And platform independence means that you are familiar with when you are making a PowerPoint presentation or Word document, then you can see that when you type from one system and you are taking that Word document by email or using pen drive to another system, you can see that some symbols or some formatting may gets changed. So, but in a LaTeX document, you can see that wherever you are typing or wherever from the world that you are typing, if you are going to give the same set of commands, you are going to get the same document. That is the meaning of platform dependence. And you can see while writing. So you can see that there is a cross mark here and the tick mark is for the next program. I already told you, you cannot see what you are getting, but after processing it, you can see it. Similarly, the other properties also are there. You can deal with the definitions. Clearly, the learning curve will be a little bit slower than other with respect to the other softwares. And being a programming language, you can see that you can communicate, you can make it, or you can mix it with some other programming languages also. So if you already know some Python or Java or whatever be the programming language, it is possible to write documents using that software, that programming language, with the help of LaTeX. That is the meaning of that. So I promised you that there will be some 2 to 3 slides before going to the first document, before preparing our first document. So this is the second slide. And let us all remember the man, Donald Knuth, behind a programming language, tech. So you have to pronounce it as tech and not text. And the next person is Lambert. The Leslie Lambert is the one who originally written the LaTeX program. And due to that Lambert tech, that we call it as LaTeX. So you have to pronounce it as LaTeX. Just a second. LaTECH as LaTeX. Okay. Now let me take you all to the editor where we are going to type the commands. So if you are using a Linux system, you need two things. The first one I will be mentioning it as TechLive. So you don't need to worry about the software. I will be by the end of the program, I will be showing that it is very easy, that you can just everything is available online. But let me go through these types of things first. So the TechLive is a program that is available in Linux system, and you also need a editor. So you can have gedit, Vim, Nano, or many other editors are available. So if you are using a Windows system, the software, you can screenshot this. You can see that MikTeX is the distribution that we have. You need one distribution and an editor. So here the distribution is TechLive and the editor is any one of this. And if you are doing in a Mac system, then this is the distribution and this is the editor that you can use. This is not only the editor available, there are more than 10 editors available under various platforms. Yes. Now let me take you all to the first command, first LaTeX document. So I have already told you that you need a LaTeX distribution. And I am having the LaTeX distribution in my system. I'm not going to explain how to install this because it is freely available in the internet. You can directly make your first document in the internet. So I am going to take you to the editor that I am having. I am also not going to mention the name of the editor that I am using because it is device independent, it is platform independent, and it is editor independent. So you just need to look at the command that I am using and not the editor and not the buttons. Okay. So the first question, you can consider LaTeX to be a person who is requesting you something and you need to just answer everything that you are required, you are in need of. The first question is, here I am going to type. Okay, so this is the first command. So using just 3 commands, you are going to prepare your first LaTeX document. So here you can see that the command, I call it as a command, started with the slash symbol. Even though it is not the slash symbol, I call it as a slash symbol. Document class, and there is a curly bracket. So here you need to enter something. So what is the type of the document that you are going to prepare? That is the first question. What is the type of the document that you are going to prepare? So there are many options, and let me introduce you 3 of them. First one is, so here you can see that you can write an article, or you can write a report, or you can write a book, and so on. So let me ask you the first question. What is the difference between an article and a report and a book? So you should tell what is the requirement. That is the first command. Then after 2 more commands, we will be preparing our first document. So can someone tell me the difference between article, report, and book? It's about 296 participants are there. It is difficult in an online meeting. So usually, where you see an article or where you see a report, that is the difference. So you can see that you see articles in newspapers or magazines where you see the name of the author, that is a person who write that. And you may be, you can also see the title of the document, some title and the author name. You can, it is possible to include date, etc. in an article, but in a report that you can see that, or if you go through the difference between article and report, you can see that an article can have sections and not chapters. So you cannot see any chapters in a newspaper or magazine. There just be some sections. But in a report, you can see that there can have chapters. When you are submitting a report, it is actually separated by chapters or parts. First part of the report and so on. So that is the main difference that is with the article and the report. Now, what is a book? You can have chapters on book, you can have chapters on report, you can have parts on book, you can have parts on report. So what is the main difference on book? Yes, book means, yes, book itself means that it has a standard word that I have to use. So in a book, you can see that it should be in the form of a book, where you usually see that you can have if you see odd numbers in your notebook, in your book, in your standard textbooks, you can see that odd numbers appear on right hand side, maybe right hand side top, and even numbers may be appearing on the left hand side, especially left hand side top or left hand side bottom. So why you are keeping an odd number on the right hand side top and even number on the left hand side top? What happens if I interchange the items? Means if in an odd page, if the odd number appears on the left hand top, what happens? Yes, it will be difficult to find out the page that you are looking for. So you can see that there are various differences between article, report, and book. And let us all learn how to write a report first. Okay, or let me take go to an article first, and let me change it to an reportlet. So the next command here I'm going to write is, you need to tell the LaTeX that you are going to begin the document. So here I'm going to type /begin in curly bracket, where you have to write the arguments, documents, and whenever you begin something, after some time you need to end that. So here I'm going to type /end document. So don't think that it is very difficult to enter the commands, because if you know the editor, for example, in this editor, I just need to write doc and put a shortcut in order to write the entire commands. So it depends on the editor. So don't worry about remembering all the commands. So I promised you that there will be just three commands in order to make your first document. And let us write something in your document. Okay. So let me write. This is the first LaTeX document. Prepared by me, or so this is not visible. Let me minimize this. Okay, this is the first LaTeX document prepared by me on. So here a date will be there. So I just want to keep it as today, even though grammatically it is not okay. Let me write it as today. And here I am going to process or run the document. So there will be a button in your LaTeX editor. So here this is not visible here. Just a second. So in my LaTeX document, you can see that there is a button here. You don't need to press the button every time. You can have your shortcut keys. So here I'm going to process this. The first thing that they will be asking is to save the document. Okay. So here I have to choose a folder. I need to show a folder. So here I have started a folder. I have named it as LaTeX, opened that, and saved the program. Now, as soon as I save, it starts processing. You can see the related things in the bottom, and you can see that this is the first LaTeX document prepared by me on this day, or I have written it just today. So many of you who have already typed your documents in using word processor or other PageMaker, etc., will be saying like that the word processor or Adobe PageMakers are better now, because in order to create a single sentence, you need to introduce three programs, three commands, and you need to write the text in it. You need to process that. You need to save that. A lot of work, right? But after some time, you can see that this is going to be the very easiest way when you are moving to the typesetting thing. So I just change, or I just introduce my other commands in this document. So here I am going to add a slash here, and let me show you the difference. So here I have changed this LaTeX word to a command. So as soon as I put a slash here, you can see that its color changes being in this editor. And also here I'm changing today to /today, and I may be needing some in need of some on. Let me on today, not on by me on today. So here I am processing it, and I will show you the output. Can you see this? This is the first LaTeX. So what is the change that you can see here? That LaTeX command has changed this to its corresponding symbol of LaTeX. Document prepared by me on June 19, 2021. So can you find a mistake in this line? Can you find out a mistake in this line? Can you put it as a chat here? Can you find a mistake in this document, in this line? This is the first LaTeX document prepared by me. Any problem that you can see here? Not on the grammatic thing that I am asking. Yes, space between, yes, the space between LaTeX and document. So you are in need of a space here. So why there is no space here? Because just after a command, LaTeX is searching for another command. So after this LaTeX command, LaTeX is is searching for another command. If there is no command, it will be soon putting the next nearest word to that. For example, in this case, the document is the nearest word. So as soon as LaTeX process this command, they will be putting the nearest word to that. So there is no space. So how to introduce a space? So many of you may be quitting now, because in order to put a single space, I need a command. Is this the document preparation system that I am explaining for, that I am introducing? In order to put a space, you need a command. So many of you, your interest level may be getting low, but I will be making it good after some time. So here I have put a command /space. Now it is okay. The next thing that I am going to type is here on the next line, not the next sentence that I am mentioning. In the next line, I am going to type, this is not the second line of the document. Okay, let me finish the sentence here. This is not the second line. Even though I wrote it as the second line, I am mentioning it as this is not the second line. Why? Because I know that if you process this, yes, this starts, this is not the second line, starts in the first line itself. So here you can see that this is the first line and this is the second line. So here, what is the problem? Even though I am writing it in the second line, you are not going to the second line. You are getting the same sentence in the first line itself. So here again, some problem. So how to solve this problem? Yes. So this is the second thing. So there will be 2-3 things that you may be not interested with when you are learning LaTeX. The first thing is that in order to put a / symbol or space, you need to put a command. Next thing is that in order to go to a next line, you need a command, that is /. So here I am going to write, this is the second line in the document. Now I am very much sure that this is the second line, because I know, yes, this is the first LaTeX document and this is the second line. So what I have done, so in order to put a space, I have a command. In order to go to the next line, I have a command. So for each and everything, there is a command. So your interest level is again down, right? But that is the end of it. Now I am going to take you to the advantage of LaTeX. So the first thing is that you can put, let me write this again by copy pasting to save this time. This is the next line. Okay. And this is the next line. This is the next line. This is the next line. Okay. So what is the expected outcome? You can see that everything will be in single line, continuous statements, continuous sentences. And the next thing that I want to show is that, just a second. Yeah. Here I am putting some space here. Here I'm putting some space here, here and there. I'm putting a lot of spaces. Okay. So can you give a document like this to your professor or your teacher? No. But in LaTeX, it is not a problem, because if you process this, you can see that there is no problem with the lines. So let me just show you the property once again. Here I am putting double slash here in order to make each and everything in single line, and this is another line. Okay, so let me show you once again. So you can see that all these sentences that I have made by putting different spaces is having uniform space between them. So this is the first advantage that I mentioned. Why it is going to be an advantage? Why it is an advantage? Yes, this is the word typesetting that I am going to introduce. The typesetting is the word when you are means it is the stage that you are preparing your document just before publication. That is, whenever you take a document to your teacher or your boss, you can see that there may be a lot of corrections. So when you correct your document, what you do is that you may be taking a lot of time to adjust the spaces between the sentences. For example, suppose your teacher says that you need to remove these two words, then you may be using backspace or space to adjust the space. Then this is not enough. You need to adjust the space between is and line, and you need to be sure that there is exactly one space between the words. You need to be sure that there is exactly one space. But in LaTeX, you don't need to worry. If the teacher says you to delete this word, just delete that. If your teacher says to delete this part, just delete that. You don't need to worry about the spaces. Is it an advantage? Yes. After some time, you will be seeing more and more advantage of that. So a single space or more than one space is considered as a single space in your LaTeX. And the next thing that I am going to introduce is that, let me show you one by one. So one advantage is here. Now you can see that this is the first paragraph of our document. Okay, so here you can see the first paragraph, and let me copy paste it for some more time. Okay, so you have a good paragraph here. So there is some double slash. Let me avoid that. Yes, I think now it is okay. So here I'm copy pasting again and again to make it a big paragraph. Now this is the second stage of typesetting. That is, suppose you have a paragraph like this. Can you take it to your teacher? No, you will be adjusting the space between the paragraphs. But in LaTeX, you can see that you don't need to worry. Even though there are more than one blank line. So this is a blank line. This is another blank line. This is another blank line. So you don't need to worry about the blank lines, because one or more than one blank line will be considering as a single blank line. Okay. Now I will be taking you to the mathematical concepts in the LaTeX. The first thing is that let us all introduce some mathematical expression in LaTeX. So how to introduce? Let me write it as f of x is equal to sin x. Okay. So you can see that the corresponding output f of x is equal to sin x is here. But here I am going to change the same, or here I am repeating the same with an additional character. That is, here you can see that there is a dollar in the starting of mathematical expression and a dollar after that. Now you can see the change in the output. So here you can see that which f of x that you can see in your standard textbooks. I am saying standard textbooks. So here you can see that the second f of x that you can see in standard mathematical textbooks, because this is the symbol that we use for f of x. Now if I want to make it say sin x, f of x is equal to say x square plus y square. So in order to move to a mathematical expression, what you have to do? You have to begin with a dollar symbol, and you have to end with a dollar symbol. That is, whatever you start, you have to end after some time. Now here I am going to type say x square. See what I am doing? X square plus y square plus z square. So what will you do to make it in a word processor? Okay, so here I'm putting it as x square plus y square plus z square. So you can see that as simple as just typing it. Okay, so the cap command that appears in your keyboard can be used to put superscript letters. So the next question may be how to add a subscript. Okay, so let me add another command. In order to save time, I use copy paste. So here I will be using say, okay, it is better to add, say I want to add s suffix 1 is equal to x suffix 1 plus y suffix 1. So you can see that I have used underscore to introduce a suffix. There you can see that s1 is equal to x1 plus y1. So what is the commands? What are the corresponding commands? The cap command introduces the superscript and the underscore command introduces the subscript. Now let me take you to another thing, that is here I am going to type, I want to type, say this is my aim, I want to type integral just a second, from 0 to infinity, say sin x dx. Infinity, let me change it to some 0 to 1 sin x dx. So here I have to type it as, so I usually put double dollars because if whenever I start a dollar, I have to stop that. So here I can put it as this is the starting dollar, this is the ending dollar, and I want to put integral from 0 to 1, integral sign. How to introduce an integral sign? Just slash int is enough. So after slash int, you can see that this integral sign will be there. Then how to put 0 and 1? You know that this is the superscript, this is the subscript. How to introduce superscript and subscript? Yes, it is underscore 0 and cap 1. So the subscripts are ready. So it is integral 0 to 1 is there. Now I want to add sin x and dx. Okay, so here I am going to type it as, say, sin x and dx. Now if I process this, you can see that, yes, you can see that integral 0 to sin x dx is there. But this is not okay for you because you can see that sine is not like this. Sine is usually not like this, and usually there is a space between x and dx. The second one you already know, that is how to put a space between sin x and dx. How to put, you can put a slash space there. You already learned that. Now how to introduce sine? You can see that this sine, cos, tan, etc. are log-like commands. You call it as log-like because in order to introduce them, you just need to put a slash just before that. That is, here I will be putting slash sign. So sign is the command, so slash sign is the corresponding thing. Now you can see that the output is now okay. Integral 0 1. There is a black dot here because it shows that you are working in this line. It will be it will not be appearing in the printed document. Okay. Now the next word that I want to use is inline and displayed math. Inline and displayed math. Okay. So what is inline math and what is displayed math? So this is a inline math which I have introduced using a single dollar. Suppose you want to consider, let me write it as consider this mathematical expression. Usually it will be appearing in your document just like this. Can you see this? Yes, consider integral 0 to 1 sin x dx. This is called the inline expression because it goes in line with the text. When I want to change it to displayed, yes, that is a spelling change. Displayed man, I just need to put double dollars. So now you can see the difference. See, consider displayed expression tree. See, 0 to 1 sin x dx. So what is the use of this? So if you are making some important statements, mathematical expressions, you can use the displayed math expression just by putting a double dollar. Now I will be changing this to introducing more and more characters by changing it to 0 to pi sin x over x and then dx. So this is the expression that I am going to aim. So currently it is integral 0 to 1 sin x dx. So here you should know how to introduce pi, how to introduce a fraction, how to put a bracket. Three things. So how to introduce a pi? So instead of 1, here if I just write pi, it is not going to work, as you can see in the output. It is just 0, pi, etc. So what is the command for pi? So here you can see that it is the command /pi. Since it is after the cap symbol, I will be putting, I want to say that this is this /pi is completely a command. This is a command. So I want to put it in a curly bracket. So a curly bracket is used to enclose a command. So if I put it as /pi, now you can see that, yes, your pi is ready. Now I want to introduce a sin x over x. So sin x over x means you need a numerator and denominator. So the command that I want to use is /frac. This says that a fraction is going to come and you should write the numerator here, and after a curly bracket, in the second curly bracket, you should write the denominator here. So what do you have to write? You have to write /frac sin x here and x here. /frac sin x and x here. Okay. So just going to change this sin x to, so here I'm copying this sin x. Okay. I am going to type, tell me /frac. So you can see that there is a bracket automatically coming. Anyway, let me type it as the first command is sin x. Okay, I will be deleting this as /frac. The numerator is sin x and the denominator is x. Even though it is a long expression, you have built it logically as you write when you are doing mathematics. So this is integral 0 to pi sin x over x dx. So as simple as just understanding what is a fraction, how to introduce a pi, how to introduce an integral, and so on. Okay. Now let me take you to a bracket. So if you put a bracket, you just need to type this. In order to put a bracket, you just need to type this. So if I put a bracket here, so after this integration, here I am going to put a bracket here, one single bracket, and after this fraction sin x over x, I am putting the closing bracket. Will it work? Now you can see that it is not going to work. What is the problem here? Yes, these are just brackets. You just told the LaTeX that just to put some brackets. You didn't tell LaTeX that you are going to put a bracket, or this part is the left side of, okay, let me write it as, this is the left side of some mathematical expression, and you should tell LaTeX that this is the right side of some mathematical expression. So you should mention that this is the left side bracket and this is the right side bracket in order to contain something. Otherwise, it is just opening and closing brackets. So how to tell LaTeX that it is the left bracket. Just to type it as here, you will be noting here, means watching here, slash left brackets. Okay, and this bracket is the right one. Okay, this bracket is the right one. So I need to tell LaTeX that this is slash right bracket of something. So if you say that, LaTeX understand that it is the left of something, that is the right of something, and it contains whatever be in between them. Okay. Now, similarly, as you used slash int to introduce an integral sign in order to bring a some sigma, that is summation, you just need to write it as slash sum. Similarly, a lot of symbols are there. I will be just showing that because I need to go through the other topics, but I will be taking you to other mathematical concepts just after some time. So this is a yes. So here you can see, to introduce an integral, there is slash int. So whatever be the command that you are preparing, just go through the symbols required. Okay. So as soon as you type this command, you will be getting the related symbol. And whenever you have a symbol, you can put, for example, this big cap. If you want to put I is equal to 0 to say infinity, you just keep this as the underscore I equal to 0 in curly brackets, and this as cap infinity. But what is infinity? It is just slash infty. Okay. So if you just Google some of the characters, how to type infinity in LaTeX, the first result will be slash inft. How to type integral in LaTeX, the first result will be slash int. So there are a lot of resources. So you just need to understand that all commands are available in LaTeX, and using some symbols that you can, using some letters that you can introduce all characters. Now I think I will be having say 15 minutes, right sir? And I will be taking you to the two important concepts. The first thing is that the cross-referencing, and the other related things. Okay. So before processing, let me write just the word cross-referencing. Let me write the word cross-referencing. Okay. So before writing a cross-referencing, I want to take you to the word equations. Okay. So how to introduce an equation? You just tell the LaTeX that you begin an equation and end an equation. So what you have to type? You have to type begin equation and end equation. So whatever you type in between, LaTeX takes it as an equation. For example, if I write 5 is equal to 3 plus 2, this is an equation because it involves the equal sign, right? So if I process this, LaTeX identify that this is an equation, and they will put a number on it. If you want to put one more equation, say, let me repeat this, 4 is equal to 2 plus 2, or I want to put the same due to some other reason. Okay, 5 is equal to 3 plus 1 plus 1. This is an equation. So if you put it in begin the equation and end equation, see, LaTeX not only puts it as a displayed math, it gives it as a numbered equation. Okay. Now what is the use of this? What is the use of this? What is the use of means this during a typesetting? Usually what happens is that, let me use the equation numbering. So for example, in the first equation, you can see a 3, right? You can see a 3 here, not 3. You can see a 2 here. And in the second equation, you cannot. The first equation, you can see a 2. The second equation, you cannot see a 2. Okay, just a word, a sentence that I am using. Or TWO. Right. Now, how to mention this as the first equation? Suppose this equation is in some other chapter. So I want to put a label here. Okay. So how to label here? I want to put slash LABEL in curly brackets. I want to write it as TWO. Okay. Not TWO, whatever be the equation that you like. So let me put it as the equation I like. I write it as TEIL. That is the equation I like. Okay. So whatever be the label that you can give, that is why I'm giving a label like this. Okay. So instead of writing in the first equation, you can see 2. Here I am going to give it as in equation 1. Let me write it as in EQ equation 1. Equation 1. If I put a space here, you can see a 2. So if I process this in equation 1, you can see a 2. But if I change these two equations, or if I interchange these two equations, it will be difficult to maintain this one, right? So if I interchange these two, so if I put this equation here and this equation here, the equation will be changed to equation number 2, and this equation will be changed to equation number 1. Okay. So instead of using this, we will be modifying this using another command, that is you want to refer this label. Okay. So just let me show you everything in single slide. So I want to refer this equation. So there is a labeling, and I am going to refer slash ref within a curly bracket. I am going to mention it as TEIL, the equation I like. Okay. Now let me show you what is the output. See, automatically you can see a 1, right? You can see a 1 here. That is, you can make an equation, a reference of an equation just using a slash label, that is give a label to a equation, and then using a slash ref. In a curly bracket, you give any name, so any key that I want to mention, and after some
Excuse
time,
me, sir.
yes.
May I request honorable resource person? We have only 5 minutes to conclude the program. So please shorten your presentation.
Yes. So I will be getting how long? 10 minutes or 5 minutes?
5 to 10 minutes, no problem.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Now, the use of typesetting, or the use of this in typesetting, is that what happens if your teacher says you just interchange these two equations. Okay. So what are the things that you have to do when you are using a Microsoft Word? So you will be copying it here and pasting it somewhere, or copying here, copying this and pasting it here, or you are interchanging this. You need to edit this, you need to edit this, and you need to edit this, right? When you interchange these two equations, or when your teacher says you just interchange these two equations, what do you have to do? You need to interchange them. You need to edit it here, here, and here also. But when you are doing this in LaTeX, it is as easy as just obeying your teacher. So it is better to obey your teacher in the very using means just directly, means what your teacher told is that just interchange these two equations. So here I will be cutting this equation and pasting here, and I am done. Can you see the output? See, automatically I have changed the equations. I have renumbered, but this is not updated. Why? Because LaTeX prepares some labels in a second run. Okay, the reason I will tell later. You can make it available later. I can make it available later. So I will be putting a single one more run again. Now you can see that everything is ready. Now equations are interchanged, labels are correct, or numberings are correct, and you can see that equation 2 appears on here. Now just I think I have some more minutes. Now it is as easy as just introducing some commands. For example, how to introduce a set of equations, how to introduce an array of equations. So here I will be writing it as EQN array. Let me remove this label here. EQN array. What is an EQN array? You can put as many equations as you want. For example, you can put 5 is equal to 3 plus 2. As a next line, what is the command for next line? Double slash. I will be writing it as 5 is equal to 1 plus say 2 plus 1. Okay. As the next line, I will be writing it as or 5 is equal to say 3 plus 1 plus 1 and so on. So I have introduced 3 lines and maybe 5 is equal to. Okay. Now what is the beauty of this EQN array is that as soon as you process, you can see that all equations are numbered. Now there are a lot of requirements for you. For example, suppose you want to make every equal sign in a single column. That is, here I will be putting an AND. Okay, so here I can see an AND on LHS and RHS of the equation, so that you can put all the equations, so that in such a way that all the equal lines are in a single column. So this is your another requirement. Or since it belongs to an equation having LHS, common LHS, you can remove all 5. That is, putting a space, even a space, they will be counting it. If you don't put a space, again they will be counting it as a empty column. See, so you have all the equation numbering, you have equal signs in a single column. You can even you can remove that, remove all the LHS except one, and you can put say less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, just using slash GE greater than or equal to GEQ. Okay, so can you see this? So all such relations can be introduced. And finally, if your requirement is that if you don't want this 4 here, okay, if you don't want this 4 here, that is, if you don't want to number the second equation, you just need to say that there is no numbering is required. So let me write it as in the second equation, somewhere in the second equation, it doesn't matter if you put arbitrary spaces, slash no number. Okay, so here you can see that no number, that number has been removed. So that is the use of EQN array. So you have learned EQN array, you have learned equations, and let me show you one more thing. Here I am going to put, instead of article, here I am going to put report here. Here I am going to put slash chapter and introduction. Okay, and this is my first section, right? Slash section and introduction to LaTeX. And after some time, I have introduced the formatting, right? So slash section formatting. Okay, what is the problem? And after some time, we have introduced mathematical equations. So slash section mathematics, and in a new chapter, maybe I can make it a new chapter, slash chapter mathematics. So what is happening? I have put many slash chapter slash section commands here and there, so that if you run it once, what you can see that all the formatting has been done by the LaTeX. So now you can see the beauty of the formatting. See, chapter 1, you may be requesting your teacher to means know the height of the text, the formatting that you have to use, everything is done in a standard way by the LaTeX. So what I have done, I put some / chapter introduction, / section introduction, and so on. Now, not only this, all reports, request or is in a requirement of putting a table of contents in the first page. Just a second. Yes, here you are expected to put a / table of contents here. So how to put a table of contents? Yes, LaTeX will be putting a heading of table of contents. If I just put a /TABLECOOFCONTENTS table of contents. So if you process this, you can see that LaTeX will be putting a heading contents, and then you need to edit your chapter name here, chapter number here, section name here, section number here. You can manually type it. Is it so? No. You just need to run the LaTeX again. If you run your LaTeX again, you can see that LaTeX does its work. That work. That is, all contents are formatted and in the standard way they have pictured it. Okay. So that is the typesetting. That is a word that I want to mention again and again. So this is very useful when you are doing a typesetting. So I think only through the I could go through the introductory level. I think it is time to stop. Maybe this is a 2 days program. Some missing things may be discussed in the next day. Okay, so I think I should stop.
Thank you, sir. Now, any question from participant? Please raise their hands. So can I make them unmute? From participant.
Yes, someone.
Someone's raise hand.
They can also type in the chat box, maybe.
Yes.
If there are a lot of, then depends on the time.
तुम्हाला होस्टच केलंय ना मी.
There are some.
इकडं काय कोणी हँड राईज केलेलं दिसत नाही मला. आहे का सर हँड राईज? आहे का हँड राईज सर? नाही का? Okay. I think
how we introduce a matrix? There's a question there. So I think I have. So there you can use a command that is /begin B matrix. I will be changing to other options after some time, and I will be changing it as /end B matrix. Let me tell you B matrix. So this is where you have to start and end a matrix, and in between you just, what is a matrix? Just an arrangement of the mathematical expressions, right? So let me write it as 2 and 3 and 4. This is in the first line, and let me take it to the 1 and 7 and maybe some alpha beta gamma /alpha /beta and /gamma. So whatever be the Greek letter you want, to just put corresponding some voice is coming. It's okay. Oh yes, corresponding spelling. Now this command is not familiar to LaTeX. Okay, so that is a problem. So for that, what you is that you should tell the LaTeX, you should go through this package. So you are telling the LaTeX that use the package AMS, American Mathematical Society Math. So when you have AMS math, then if you process this, we can see that, yeah, maybe as the last line, that you can see the corresponding matrix. So can you see this? Yeah. So if I change this B matrix to other options, say capital B here, then sorry, if I use capital B here, we can see that another option is going to come. So you just need to tell the LaTeX that it is capital. Okay, this is braces. That is what we are getting. And since it is a math expression, I need to put a dollar before and after the expression. So that is an error here. So you can see an error in the bottom. Okay, I think we just need an ordinary brackets. Instead, you can put any arbitrary opening and closing, that is square or opening bracket or whatever be, even though this is not for that. Anyway, whatever be the expression, whatever be the braces that you want in the starting, delimiters you want, you can put everything just using the array command. So I think I don't have the time to explain this array command. If you know the array command, you can put whatever be the metrics that you can put whatever be the metrics that you are in need of. Okay. So this is just the minimal way of presenting a matrix. If there are more questions.
Sir, there is a question in chat box: how to insert table and how to insert picture in LaTeX.
Yes. So I think I can use. So you want to insert a figure, right? So in order to insert a figure, just tell the LaTeX that you are going to begin a figure and end a figure. So I will be showing that. See here, / begin figure. Just a second. Okay. Yes. / begin figure. So you need to tell the LaTeX that.
Excuse me, sir. Due to lack of time,
yes,
we conclude the